Hello everyone, welcome to this seventh video on Google Sheets. As mentioned in the last video, I'll be discussing two important things that we use frequently in Excel or in Google Sheet. And the first one is grouping a variable based on certain condition using if formula. And this if formula is very important. It's used many a times. And the second is VLOOKUP. Now VLOOKUP, it is I think most widely used Excel formula because its application is along two tables. So if you want to pull data from one table to another, then you would be using a VLOOKUP formula. But we'll go beyond that and we will see how we can use multiple VLOOKUPs as well. So there may be a condition where you need to use that. So let's start the video now. So as you can see on this screen, there is a small table where we have the student name and the marks they obtained. So there are a few students and their marks is given here. Now we have decided that we will group this variable into certain category. So the category would be like this. If someone has scored from 0 to 50, he or she would be considered as fail, from 51 to 75 average, from 76 to 90 good, and 91 to 100 excellent. So this can be done using if formula. So we will see how we can write a formula where we can specify these conditions to get the result. So in C2, that formula is written. So it's a combination of if and. So we want to check if the marks fall between these two range, that is 0 to 50, then we are saying it is fail. If it is between 51 to 75, it is average. If it is 76 to 90, it is good. If it is between 91 to 100, it is excellent, otherwise not found. And now this is again very important. So if you have to group something into say three or four groups or even five, six groups, you specify conditions for each of those groups. And any case, if you are missing or if it is different from what you know about the data, you said you just put it into not found or missing some kind of group, which is other than all the conditions which you specify. So, and one more thing here, you must have observed that the marks is written directly because it's a name range, and we can always name a particular range of data by going to data name ranges. So here, if you click on marks, it's this. The whole column B is considered as marks. Okay, so I'll again write this formula here, and you must have seen that it's written in different lines. So we have one line for fail, then in the second line we have average, good, and excellent, not found. This condition is mentioned. So let's write that formula again. I'll delete this and I'll click here, select equal to. If now, because there are multiple conditions, we'll have to use and this marks greater than equal to 0 comma marks less than equal to 50. So if both the conditions are satisfied in and, then it becomes true, and if it is true, our result is fail. Okay, so this is how the first if is written. Then what will you do is you'll press Control Enter. You'll move to the second line and then you'll again write if and marks greater than equal to 51 comma marks less than equal to 75. You'll close the bracket and then you'll write average. Okay, then again control enter. You'll again write if and marks greater than equal to 76, marks less than equal to 90, then it is good. Next condition is if and marks greater than equal to 90, marks less than equal to 100, close the bracket, excellent. Okay, and if this is not satisfied, then not found. So the first if is closed, second if is closed, third if is closed, the final if is also closed. Okay, so you have this field, and similarly, if you just drag it down, you'll get the results for all this. So this is how you can group it. You can improve on this. So if you don't want to type these texts like fail, average, good, excellent, not found, then you can just refer to some cells, and if you want to change some names later on, you don't need to edit the formula. You can just make changes in those cells and the formula will update. So here it is done in the similar way. So if these conditions are satisfied, it's referring to K2, K3, K4, K5 and not found. So if I make it as not passed, you'll see that it changes these two values which are failed earlier, it changes to not passed. But here it didn't, because you are not referring to some particular cell. So sometimes it's better to, even in these if conditions, refer to some cells, so that if you have to make some adjustment there by changing the names, you can easily do it in the referred cell and your results will update automatically. We'll go back to again fail. Now you can do the same using lookup. So we'll discuss the other important use case of lookup as well. But here we can see that you can group as well using lookup. So how is it done? So we'll go through the formula VLOOKUP. So you can see the Google Sheet document here. So we search a particular value in a range, then we select the index, and the last argument, the fourth one, is whether it is sorted or not. So if it is false, we do exact match, and if it is true, then we do approximate match. So to group a particular value, we'll actually do approximate match. So I'll just delete this formula here and write it again. So we'll write VLOOKUP, and then we have to look for this particular value. Okay, and I'll just freeze the column here. Then I have to look for this value in this particular table. Okay, so I'll freeze the table here, and I want to pick values from the third column, from the leftmost column. So the leftmost one would be 1, this would be 2, and this would be 3. So I mentioned 3 here, and because I want approximate match or the data is sorted as well, I'll write 1 here. and then I'll close the bracket. Press enter, and then you can see if I select all from selecting the first one, select clicking on the last one, and if I do Control D, the formula drags from top to bottom. You see all these formulas are now added here. See, or you can just uh, drag this down. So that will also you can add the formula to the below cells as well. So you can see it's grouped now. So before doing that, what you have to do is you have to create this table in a proper way. So all these lower ranges, it should be sorted so that the lookup function checks for all the values greater than 0 but less than 51, and then assigns fail to that particular value. Again, it looks for all the values greater than equal to 51 but less than 76, and they are assigned as average. Similarly, it does for the rest of the cases. But yeah, there is a difference that here, if the value is not there, you are mentioning not found, but here you are not doing that. But yes, in case of an error, you can do it using if error formula as well. Now, let's go to again understand VLOOKUP where we have to do exact match. So in this sheet, you see there is a data. So for for there are a few countries, and for them we have some quantity mentioned here. Okay, and one particular country sells a particular product only. Okay, and it is available. This information is available here. Also, there are two price tables. So here is one price table. Here it is another price table. Okay. Now, the first question here is that we want to add product against these countries. So we have country here, we have country in this table. Here we have the product, here we have the quantity. So to add product, we will be using VLOOKUP formula. And here we need exact match. So India should be matched with India to get A here. Brazil should be matched with Brazil to get D here, like that. So the syntax would be equal to VLOOKUP. Okay. Then I'll select this cell. I'll press F4 to get $A3. I'll just freeze the column. Then I want to look into this particular table. So I'll select this table, I'll freeze it. And I want the values from the second column from the leftmost column. So the leftmost column is this J, and I want values from K. So it becomes 1, it becomes 2. I'll write 2. And the last argument is 0 because I want exact match. Then I will close the bracket, enter. I'll drag this formula below to get values for all other cells as well. Okay. So now, if we have to pull prices as well in say column D, so what we will do is that we will again do VLOOKUP to get prices. I'm just writing this VLOOKUP and look for this country. This table where we have prices, the first price lookup table. Okay, and then second column, I write false 0, and then enter. If I drag this down, it is throwing an error. Okay, in the for these three, it is throwing an error. It means that the value is not present in that particular table. So US, Mexico, China, they are not present in this particular table. We can use if error to actually, we can just mention that. So when this VLOOKUP formula throws an error, we can specify that not found table. Close the bracket. By doing this, if we drag the formula now, clearly mention that it is not found in table 1. So we will use this if error formula to do multiple VLOOKUPs. So in case if you have some historical price data, assuming here we have some historical price data in this table, but for new countries we have just added the details in a new table, new price table. But we'll check for results in the first price table only, and if it is not available here, we'll look for results in the second table. So for that, we will have to do multiple VLOOKUPs. So how can we do this? So we'll use again VLOOKUP with if error. If error, VLOOKUP in this. Again, look for this value. The first table, second column, false. Now, if this value is not present, I again want to do a VLOOKUP. I'm wrapping it again in if error because I'd just like to mention that it's not present in both the tables. Okay. So I'll again VLOOKUP this particular value in this table now. And I'll select second column false. And if this value is not present, I'll write not found. Okay. So now if I drag this or by autofill also it's done automatically. I can see that these two cases for US and Mexico, now we have some values here in the second table. So it's populated. But China is not available in first table as well as the second table. So it's throwing a value not found. We can modify it as per our requirement. You can change it to 0, minus 99 or something to highlight that this value is not available. So it's up to you. You can do that. But yes, using a combination of if error and VLOOKUP, we can do multiple VLOOKUPs. So this is a very important concept. You should remember this. And if you like this video, do subscribe my channel and share it amongst your friends. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.